Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Lesser Known but Awesome Heroes. And today, I will be talking about the JSA member, Mr. Terrific. Yes, I will be talking about Terry Sloan and Michael Holt. So let's get started. But first off, on a side note, I almost had this finished, then I messed it up. So I'm gonna add at least like 30 seconds or so, guys, that way I can explain more. But anyway, let me just get into it before I lose track of time again. Okay, Terry Sloan was a rich man who had photographic memory, Olympic level athletic skills, and his mastery of martial arts made him practically made him a Renaissance man. Getting tongue-tied. He graduated college at 13, and he would eventually become a renowned business leader in his community. He established all his goals by the time he was in his early 20s. However, he would become depressed because he felt that there were no more challenges left for him to pursue, and this would lead him to suicide. It was, however, upon seeing a young lady try to jump from a bridge that he saved her life, and he learned her name was Wanda Wilson. And she asked Sloan to help, and she told Sloan about her brother joining a gang and that he couldn't ever get out of the gang, and had been like caught up, and they were coming to their house and whatnot, what have you. You get the point. And he would eventually create the disguise of Mr. Terrific, and he would create a juvenile fan club called the Fair Play Club to dissuade juveniles from acting out. And he would gain the moniker of Man of 1,000 Talents. There wasn't anything that he could do. And he would eventually turn to crime fighting after excelling at literally everything. And he would wear a red suit with a green tunic, and a gold emblem on the tunic would have his motto, Fair Play. And he would become a reserve member of the JSA, taking part in some of their 1940s adventures. He would become a full-fledged member of the All-Star Squadron, and he would assist both teams on more than one occasion throughout the remaining decade, retiring with all of them in 1951. However, he would come out of retirement to resume crime fighting and become a full-fledged member of the JSA. And he would assist them on cases, and he would help them combat the Lawless League and the Black Orb crime gang. He would actually make an appearance in Justice League Year 1 at the first gathering of the League. He would be looked after by the Phantom Lady during the gathering on Black Hawk Island. And he would come out of retirement just one more time to pursue his old nemesis, the Spirit King, who tragically took over other JSA member Jay Garrick, the original Golden Age Flash, who he used to kill Sloan. Sloan, however, would not die out, guys, because he would then appear after death in both the afterlife and time travel. Once a year during James Robinson's run on Starman, the character Jack Knight would have a supernatural visit from his deceased brother David, and the recurring title would be called Talking with David. One year, he showed up with a whole bunch of other dead superheroes, including Sloan himself. And they would have a dinner party in the black and white realm discussing the motivations of both heroics and vigilantism. And through time travel, he would meet Michael Holt, who I'll be talking about in just a little while. He's met Holt more than once, and has actually professed to Holt that he is a very worthy successor and is glad that he has taken up the mantle. And they would eventually stop a highly destructive time traveler, which I'm going to go with the presumption that's Vandal Savage. And Sloan would trick the time traveler into thinking he was his ancestor by threatening to shoot himself. However, he admitted that he was bluffing because it would be impossible to determine family connection through the various generations. However, despite trying to be secretive, he would figure out their mission and methods. And he would also make an appearance in Day of Judgment, where a whole bunch of heroes broke into heaven in order to persuade Jim Corrigan to become the Spectre. However, Sloane and others would appear to try and gently dissuade them from their mission. And it was during Blackest Night that he would be reanimated as a Black Lantern and would jump to try to attack the JSA, where they would be destroyed by a device created by Michael Holt. And later on, he would and there were many different family members that he would have. One such was in a JSA miniseries, All Stars, where he supposedly had a brother, Ned, who was a compulsive gambler and was actually that his brother was actually the grandfather of the modern age criminal Roulette. However, she would think Mr. Terrific was her grandfather, and there was also a character called Miss Terrific in the 1989 series Hero Hotline. And he's also appeared in Batman Brave and the Bold. He was mentioned in Smallville. So, yeah, Sloane has basically been referenced and had many homages given to him. And I think that that's actually a very wonderful thing, because it's like, I find Terry Sloane to be a very interesting character. And I'm glad that DC's done with a lot of their like old Golden Age type comic stuff, that they did one for Sloane. I don't know the exact price of it, but they do have the original Mr. Terrific comics if you guys want to go on Amazon and try to find them. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Terry Sloane. I'm just going to let some of these extra minutes here on this video just like cut off. But to prep you guys, yeah, Sloane would be one of the original members of the JSA, one of the founding members, but he would be on the reserve list, because he had his own crime fighting and what have you. And I think it's great too that the JSA, they honor a lot of their dead heroes, and some of them have even taken up the mantle, like this guy coming up, who is one of the Mount Vernon kids' favorites. And I didn't really know about this guy till I watched the Heroes and Why I Like Them, or Characters and Why I Like Them segment, I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought Heroes and Why I Like Them. But when I saw his Characters and Why I Like Them video, I thought, this character's actually interesting, and I didn't know that he was in Justice League Unlimited, and now when I watch Justice League Unlimited, I know who this character is. But alright, we move on now to Michael Holt, the second Mr. Terrific. And I will grab my dictionary stuff. Here we go. Michael Holt would first excuse me, sorry. Michael Holt would first appear in Spectre Volume 3 in issue number 54 of June of 1997. Man, I'm just messing up. June 1997, Spectre Volume 3, issue 54. There we go. And he is the second person to take up the mantle of Mr. Terrific. And excuse me, I realized throughout this video that I've made a lot of mistakes, that I've been like drinking water and stuff, guys, but just go with me. There we go, much better. Alright, at a young age, Michael Holt showed remarkable intelligence, reading, and he had assimilating works of Bohr, Einstein, Feynman, and many other famous intelligent guys whose names I can't pronounce. And he was the pantheon of theoretical physics at the age of 6. He studied advanced science, space, and time, while other children struggled through Sesame Street, as Michael once put it. Michael grew up with his mentally challenged older brother, Jeffrey, whom Michael loved dearly. When Jeffrey died at the age of 15, Michael was devastated. Holt displayed a natural aptitude for having natural Basically, he displayed remarkable skills. He would easily pick up and retain complex skills and abilities that other men spent their entire lives perfecting. He would begin his career as a superhero. He already possessed 14 PhDs, 2 in engineering and physics, including doctorate and master's degrees in law, psychology, chemistry, political science, and mathematics. He was a self-made multimillionaire with a high-tech firm called Cyberware, subsequently sold to Wayne Tech, and was a gold medal winning Olympic decathlete. The accidental deaths of his wife and unborn child were a devastating blow to Holt, and while contemplating suicide, he was met by the Spectre, who told him about Terry Sloan, the Golden Age Mr. Terrific. Inspired by Sloan's life story, he took up the name Mr. Terrific and would later join the current JSA, serving as its chairman. He initially wore ordinary clothes and a leather jacket with Sloan's Fair Play emblem on the back. However, Fair Play emblem on the back. However, then he wears a T-shaped mask composed of electric nanites, a black and white costume with red trim, and a collarless jacket in the same colors, the black sections of tunic and a jacket forming a T with Fair Play written on the sleeves and Terrific across the back. For a time acting as a spokesman for Tyler Co. and consulting that company on industrial espionage and security matters in exchange for that company helping fund a youth center that Holt had started. Holt also has a friendly rivalry with Batman, his opposing member on the JLA. You know, under the guy, of course, we all know about Bruce Wayne, but he actually owns Michael Holt's company, you know, Cyberware, as has been stated. Michael Holt has encountered Terry Sloan twice through time travel, and Sloan has expressed pride and joy in having such a worthy successor. However, Holt has been noted as the most intelligent member of the JSA in its history. Some have even said that he actually surpasses Sloan. And he has also been known as the third smartest person in the world. And this notion appears to be widespread throughout the entire DCU. And during the conflict over leadership of the Justice Society, when former chairman Hawkman and then current chairman Sand, sorry guys, I had to pause for a second. Terrific was elected as the new chairman by team members despite not actively seeking the office. He served in this capacity until the team disbanded during the Infinite Crisis. I cannot speak today. Mr. Terrific currently remains a member of the JSA, resuming as chairman from the last incarnation of the team, but his leadership capabilities in Checkmate eventually prompted him to relinquish the position to Power Girl. He would become part of a team assembled by Batman for an attack on Brother Eye, and he played a crucial role as his invisibility to technology allowed him to reach the satellite's propulsion system, sending it crashing to Earth. On this meeting, he met and befriended another African-American superhero, Jefferson Pierce. Yes, Black Lightning. As part of the 1 year later, Holt was still a member of the JSA, but he also became part of the UN Security Council. And Holt would eventually hold the position of White King's Bishop in Checkmate. But when the previous White King, Alan Scott, was forced to resign, he became Checkmate's new White King, complicating his relationship with Sasha Barenex, the Checkmate's Black Queen. He has also given up his chairman position, which has been taken over by Power Girl, which I already stated, but for some reason they repeat this. Mr. Terrific has established an ill-denied mentorship with the current Firestorm, not the relaunch one, but the current Firestorm, Jason Roosh, over the missing year. The specifics of their meeting are yet to be documented. During Final Crisis, A battle between Darkseid and the human world. Mr. Terrific, alongside Snapper Carr and Cheetah, are left trapped in the ruins of Checkmate's headquarters, unable to get past the brainwashed metahuman, and caring for Sasha, who prefers using her OMAC programmage to shut down her bodily functions rather than fall prey to the anti-life equation. Forcibly waking up Sasha, thus condemning her, Michael Holt is forced to activate a new OMAC population programmed to obey him rather than Brother Eye and protect the last few humans against the new Justifers. In JSA Volume 3 series, he takes over research just as the low-level villain Tapeworm appears on the news taking hostages and demanding that Wildcat show himself. All-American Kid and King Chimera must remain in the Brownstone. Mr. Terrific retreats to his lab while the rest of the team leaves to help Wildcat. All-American Kid goes to the lab and stabs Mr. Terrific in the back. The JSA members arrive back at the headquarters to discover he has been attacked, and Dr. Midnight tends to his wounds. In the end, he succumbs to his injuries and Alan Scott reports that he has died. However, Scott is able to use the power of the green flame to slow down time around Mr. Terrific's body in hopes that he can be healed before brain death occurs. He is restored to life by the magic of Kent Nelson, the current Dr. Fate, and attacks All-American Kid, revealing that he is actually the teenage psychopath Kid Knievel and subdues him. He is forced into a wheelchair for a while, but he has still found time to upgrade Mr. America's whip. And currently, as part of the relaunch, he is in his own solo series in a relationship with Power Girl. One of the unique things, as pretty much Mount Vernon Kid has put it, he is basically an atheist. Yet the irony is that he fights alongside demigods, aliens, what have you, but he doesn't believe in any of that. He's a more scientific man. He believes in theories and mathematics and all that stuff. Even he had a debate with Ragdoll of the Secret Six, who happens to be Jewish, over belief and faith. And it was a near-death experience that Holt, for a time, went to church, but he went back to his atheist ways and whatnot and what have you. But anyway, guys, as this video is fastly closing, there you guys have it. Terry Sloan, Michael Holt, both guys, Mr. Terrific. Sadly, they are very lesser known, but what makes Terry Sloan and Michael Holt awesome? Well, they are both men of many, many talents, and as their name implies, they are both terrific.